Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Not a Trekkie, an all Star Wars Everything podcast brought to you by Red Cyclone Inc. Everything from New Hope to Rogue One, even that solo one, from Anakin and Obi-Wan to Rey left being the only one now. I cannot stress this anymore. There is no hate. But this ain't Stargate, this ain't Star Trek, this is Star Wars. I'm your host, Tenacious T. Alongside me, via conference video call, the Merc with the mic.
What is up, guys? What is up? We are back.
Yes, finally back, man. I'm so happy that we were finally able to get back.
So this is Not a Trekkie Podcast by Red Cyclone Inc.
Yes, it is.
We are back. Since the last episode, the world went to quarantine.
The world went to shit, ladies and gentlemen.
The world shit its bed.
It definitely did. if there wasn't more of a time to be in space than now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, this is the perfect time, too. All right, so if you guys have not watched any of these Star Wars movies, this is the perfect time to watch them because you have nothing else to do.
Exactly, especially if you were not an essential worker and you were sitting at home with your kids. Now is the time to go back and recapture your youth while educating the youth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is stuff that needs to continue going forever. And I'm pretty sure it will.
Yeah. So today's cast is not like the regular ones we've done because we were reviewing the movies. We went through the first original three, which was A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. Today is kind of like a recap of everything. We're going to talk about the spoofs. We're going to talk about the toys. We're going to talk about every little thing in between. And it's going to be like a shoot-the-shit episode that we're done with Morphin Cast. And we're done with Guess What I Swear. These are fun casts because we just talk about everything.
So if you guys have not tuned into those casts, please make sure to go and check them out. Like, subscribe, share.
Yes.
Tell your friends about it. Tell your parents about it. Tell everybody about it. Everybody's home. There's no excuses now.
Yeah. You can follow this right now live on Merc with the Mic on YouTube. You can also get it on SoundCloud, YouTube, down the road when we edit it and all, sound pretty and all on SoundCloud, Merc with the Mic. So other than that, we a little self advertisement. How are you doing in this crazy world? And what have you been watching, like kind of Star Wars related? Because again, we haven't gone back into a movie yet. The next cast, we will be reviewing Phantom Menace.
Yeah, which that is probably the most cringe-worthy movie I would say to date, because out of every single movie that is out, the nine 3 separate trilogies and then also the side ones, that's probably the most cringed one out of all of them. You know what I mean? I'm not really looking forward to it too much.
Yeah.
The kid always just irritates me. It's just like he's always the kid from fucking Jingle All the Way, Turbo Man and stuff like that. So it just bothers me. You know what I mean? Like I can't. And Samuel L. Jackson, I'm sorry, I can't take him seriously in a Star Wars movie.
The only
I know,
man.
but he's actually a badass Jedi, though. Yeah. You know what I mean? In all retrospect of the universe, he's pretty badass. And it's funny because he actually specifically hit up his agent to hit up George Lucas, like, yo, if you're doing another fucking Star Wars movie, I want to be in it. George Lucas is like, yo, I don't really see you in it. He's like, yo, you put a fucking lightsaber in my hand, and I will show you what I can do. So that's how he like weaseled his way into the movie, because everybody knows Samuel L. Jackson. He's literally like the face of everything.
Yeah, and then he also was the only one that actually had his own lightsaber, which is the purple lightsaber.
Yeah, well, he's also, there's not really too many, there's a lot of different aliens and stuff like that. There's not really too many diverse, too much diversity when it comes to Jedis and stuff like that.
No.
There'll be a walking fish before there's a black guy. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that.
Well, that's something you actually see down in the original trilogy, is you see the different races and aliens of the Jedi that you really don't see in the later ones, because again, they're like all hiding and shit.
Well,
or dead.
Well, I don't want to ruin anything new of the new movies, but technically, Jedis were a dead race. You know what I mean? Actually,
like
they weren't even a race; they were like a creed.
well, like
You
a
know what I
New
mean?
Hope. In A New Hope, they're kind of like hidden or dead.
Yeah, well, there's not really any of them at all. You know what I mean? Like in the 1, 2, and 3, you know what I mean? Like they were killed. The whole council was killed. You didn't really know any more of like colonies and stuff like that was out there.
It was Order 66.
You heard like a little bit, yeah, but you know what I mean? You would think that there was like planets full of these fucking things, and that's just what I assumed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's why Luke in episode 6 is Return of the Jedi, because they were just dying off.
Jedi.
You know what I mean? And honestly, to be man, after watching the 4, 5, and 6, like I don't even think like Luke is at the time that worthy of being a Jedi
He was
Knight.
a self-proclaimed Jedi.
I know, like he was such a self-proclaimed, like especially at the beginning of episode 6, where he goes into Jabba the Hutt's thing and Tatooine and stuff like that, and he literally he's like fraudulently walking inside saying that he's the man. But even at the end of Return of the Jedi, it was Anakin Skywalker who did it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It wasn't even him.
Yeah.
So technically, in the first 3 movies was the build-up of him becoming, like, his rites of passage of learning the Jedi way.
Yeah.
In my eyes, he still hasn't even learned that shit.
No.
You know what I mean?
He's self-proclaimed.
Yeah, like, when Palpatine was striking his ass with the lightning, it was Anakin who broke the curse and picked up Palpatine and threw him down the shaft. You know what I mean? No! Which was added in, too. That was part of the special edition ones, the Lucas cuts, because he actually never said nothing in the original one.
Fuck you, Lucas.
I know, man, it upsets me because like I just wanted Darth Vader to stay bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he is the most iconic villain ever.
Yeah.
Besides like the Joker, who else is the most recognizable villain ever?
Yeah.
It's Darth Vader.
Vader.
And Jaws.
Jaws.
You know what I mean? Everybody knows Jaws and King Kong and shit.
Megatron
is Frankenstein. You know what I mean?
Commander.
Like, but yeah. First 3, 4, 5, and 6. What would you say was probably the worst one out of all of them? After us doing our cast and actually going through it. And,
yeah, Jedi.
Because Jedi, believe it or not, like Jedi is probably the worst one, but it's not as bad as I remembered it.
It's not as bad as I remember it. It's just like honestly, it did leave a bad taste in my mouth with the trilogy rewatched.
Yeah,
it's the one that I least liked. I hated the whole self-proclaimed Jedi of Luke Skywalker. And this is the thing, is that we went back to watching it, and now I'm really focused on everything that's going on in the movie. And then hearing him saying, I am a Jedi Master, I was like, no, you're not.
No,
you didn't
were
fucking
not.
train. You didn't even go back to train. Fucking
You
Yoda
soft,
sunned your
man.
ass.
Yeah. Yoda, I think he was getting like dementia towards the end. He didn't know what was going on.
Yoda was like, yeah, you fucking get away from me.
You're talking me to death.
you killing me. You're killing me here, literally.
See, like what upsets me about the third movie. I mean, like there's a lot of good stuff in the third. Like it was action packed, and it was just like it was sort of balls to the wall.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But what upsets me is that the world's favorite mercenary, which is Boba Fett, like he just got wiped out so easily.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and Jabba the Hutt is supposed to be this big bad being, and this is really the first time where we're really actually seeing him. Yeah. Doing his thing, and then what? He's just so fat that he can't flip Leia over. You know what I mean? He's so fat, he's like, just let me die.
I can't reach.
I can't reach you, just fucking let me die.
Like, I have people wipe my ass. I can't even wipe my ass.
But I agree with you. I think that the third one probably was the weakest. It's not as bad as I remember, and as bad as like the world portrays it to be. You know what I mean? Because the third one is still better than a lot of the movies that came out afterwards.
Jedi, yeah, I'll say it's better. I feel that's a hard argument because I have a lot of things that I dislike the Jedi. I'll say the most iconic things is the beginning when they did the big action scene and Boba Fett fell in this rain carp in the snake pit, wherever the big hole.
Yeah.
And then the ending.
It's like a big booty hole with a mouth.
Yeah, and then the Luke Skywalker Darth Vader ending. I think those are the two iconic things off that movie. The rest was just thrown in to sell toys and things like that, and it was just kind of just there in a sense.
Well, there was also the continuing love between Han Solo and and Princess Leia, this is when she starts stepping up and actually does shit. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like, she's always done things, but this is where, like, I could see where the storyline went when she becomes a general. And and she's no longer a princess, and she becomes a general. Yeah. It's probably because of this. Yeah. You know? So. And
then you had the likes, the one that Lucas did not direct is probably the best one they ever did, which was Empire.
Which, Empire Strikes Back is definitely the best one. I just, like, you would just think, though, with that movie, with all the resources that, the Empire has, it took them, like, 2-3 years to even try and, like, to even track down these people who destroyed the Death Star. I thought that it would have been a lot easier for them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you had so many iconic scenes. It's like just that one battle scene on that snow planet. I forget the name of it.
Hoth.
Yeah, Hoth. Yes.
Yeah.
Like that whole iconic scene, like that's used in every single video game ever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, who else doesn't want to be in an X-wing, fucking blowing one of those things up? You know what I mean?
And I actually think I think Empire used the characters the most. I think they used them the best in that movie as well. They had, and then the fact that they brought you a sense of loss of a lot of things in that movie. You felt that they lost. When you watch the ending of Empire, you're like, the fuck? That's it?
I agree. Yeah. And it's also like, you finally, the visuals with that movie was just, even for the time, it was 1980 when it came out. You know what I mean? Like, even for the time, it was just like the whole scene with, all you see is Darth Vader at the back of his helmet.
Yeah. And
he's just looking out at the stars, and there's the fight scenes and stuff like that. There's like the visionariness of it, like the imagery of it. It's definitely timeless. You cannot go wrong with this movie.
No.
You know what I mean? But I don't think that. I don't think without Empire Strikes Back, I don't think, like, if New Hope which was originally supposed to be a single movie, it wasn't supposed to have a sequel.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that Star Wars would be as timeless as it is without what The Empire Strikes Back did. You know what I mean? Afterwards, if they just left it a one and done, I don't think we would still be talking about it today.
Well, it was the director of The Empire Strikes Back was Irving Kirshner. Kishner. He also directed RoboCop 2.
RoboCop 2?
Mm-hmm. Never Say Never.
Wait, the first RoboCop or RoboCop 2?
RoboCop 2.
RoboCop 2 is the best fucking RoboCop ever.
Yeah.
With Kane and all that, man. I used to love that movie growing up.
Yeah.
I had the box set with each one slid out, and they were like the helmets and the bodies of like RoboCop. Oh my god, number 2 was amazing.
So some of the I'll give you some of the stuff he directed. Never Say Never Again, the James Bond movie, Sean Connery, RoboCop 2, and Empire Strikes Back. Those are some of the movies he's known for.
Well, you can't go wrong with having GoldenEye underneath, not GoldenEye, I mean 007 underneath your belt.
Yeah.
RoboCop and Star Wars, and arguably the best Star Wars, that's a hell of a catalog right there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So good for him. Totes to him.
Yeah. And I think Lucas, that's the one that Lucas dislikes the most, because of the fact that he doesn't get credit for that movie.
Well, we don't know that for sure. That's sort of like a rumor.
Nah, he doesn't like. He honestly, his favorite movie is New Hope.
Well, because that was his baby.
Exactly. So
and
he
took a lot of his old movies that he produced and did soundtracks for and directed and literally threw it all into this. You know what I mean?
A New Hope was his, and then he always has, like, every time they have issues, like questions about Empire, he kind of like pushes it away or tries to talk about something else. He don't like Empire because he didn't do it. Because someone did your movie better than you did.
I think that's why later when he was re-releasing these, like, I feel like he had like a little chip on his shoulder that he had to just go and put his finger back into it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the Lucas cuts, I think that was like 97?
Yeah. 96, 97, 98.
96, 97. When you were over my house, I showed you that I had the original box set.
Yeah.
Even with the booklets and everything, man, like...
Because I remember going to the theaters to see them, to see them in theaters. Because they re-released them all in theaters.
I wasn't really in it at that time, you know what I mean?
So I remember I think it was right before Phantom Menace came out. They re-released all 3 Star Wars movies. I think they did them 3 months apart. And they released them before that movie came out, so you could go see it.
Like all theaters or like selected theaters?
No, it was all theaters. It was everywhere. Like, it made good money. Like, the crowds were full and shit like that. But I actually went. I did it mainly because I never got to experience Star Wars besides Return of the Jedi. That was the one I saw as a kid. But the other ones, I never got to experience it in the theater. So I went to see them.
Well, no, I think that was a good move on Lucas's part to re-release them because the kids that grew up in this time are now the adults sharing it with their kids. So, and it was like ushering the new era. Yeah. So let's have the kids come in, fall in love with it all over again. The adults fall in love with it all over again. The kids recapture it, and then boom, let's hit them with the prequels. Yeah. You know what I mean? That was probably like the plan.
And hope they stay.
Yeah, please keep these checks rolling in. I need them. But didn't even Lucas didn't even direct the prequels though,
yeah, he
right?
did.
He did all of them?
That's all him.
All of them. I don't know because this is like I've seen the movies. I just never really paid attention to like the credits and shit.
Yeah, George Lucas. That's all him. That's all his fingerprints all over that shit.
Yeah. Well, those movies were definitely like the first one was definitely made for just merchandising all day. You know what I mean? Like why couldn't I know this is premature because we haven't gotten into the prequels, but it's just like I would just love to see a Darth Maul movie, man. Like still to this day.
I think we're gonna. I think the fact that I think Disney's doing as much as I did not like. I wasn't a huge fan of the last 3. I liked some of them. I liked some parts more than anything, but as much as I didn't like, it was okay. I guess for new fans, it might be better for them, but it wasn't for me. I do like everything else he did. I loved Rogue One. I loved Mandalorian. So if you could do shit like that,
Mandalorian's Jon Favreau's baby.
I know, but if you could bring more shit like that, like just side stories without Jedi, without the fucking have its own lore, I'm all for that. A Darth Maul movie would be fucking dope because it would be a different lore, especially if you played the game, the new game, Fallen Order, and you see the world of where Darth Maul's from and shit. You kind of want to see it, like, damn, they're like savages.
I still haven't even got up to that part, man. I haven't been able to touch that game.
Like, they're mad savages over there.
I might have to buy it for the Xbox One because that's what I have isolated in quarantine in my room right now.
Like I said, man, with the Xbox, you should just now you have working internet, just get the Game Pass.
Yeah, no, I should. Right now, being under quarantine, every penny counts right now, so...
Dude,
you know what I mean?
There's over 1,000 games on that shit.
I understand that, but I only got, like, a gigabyte of space.
Oh, that's true. You don't have a hard drive, so...
Yeah,
anyway, moving on from that. But anyway, like, seeing the world of Darth Maul, it makes it interesting. Seeing, like, Mandalorian blew us away. Like, that show...
did, man.
That show was better than what we all expect. Like, honestly, I did not expect a lot from it. I just expected, Jon Favreau, I trust you. You did Jungle Book well. You did Iron Man badass. And you're Happy Hogan. I love you
Hell
for
yeah.
those things. And he was in Replacements, and he was hilarious.
Yes, he was. He was
The crazy
that
cop.
fucking crazy cop dude. Yeah. But yo, he did the movie Chef, bro.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Chef was an awesome movie.
Yeah.
It
So
really was.
I trust him.
He's
directing.
like becoming the face of everything.
Well,
bro.
right
You know
now
what I mean?
he's the man in charge of Star Wars right now.
He's Star Wars, bro. He had the mantle of the beginning, ushering MCU in.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
Like, he did that single-handedly.
Yeah, because
You know
right
what I mean?
now he's what's his name? The guy that runs Marvel, the main guy that runs Marvel, the
I don't know.
MCU
I thought
movies.
he's just stepped down. I thought everybody just stepped down.
No, he's still there.
Things.
The main guy, no, the main person that runs the MCU. Fuck, what's his name? I can't think of his name. Well, anyway, him. He pretty much John Favreau became him of Star Wars. So anything new Star Wars, it has to go through him before it goes anywhere. So I have faith in him and bringing more stuff.
He is the man, and I mean, The Lion King wasn't as good as The Jungle Book was. Definitely wasn't.
But you know what?
And
you know what?
And he's
you know
doing
what?
The Little Mermaid too, right?
No, he's not.
He's not doing The Little
No,
Mermaid.
he's not.
I thought he was doing. I know he's doing something else. But listen, I will watch anything that man puts out. And the way The Mandalorian is, I cannot wait for Not a Trekkie to get up to The Mandalorian. Because that is really going to be of this day and age where a lot of people, and I've talked to a lot of people about The Mandalorian, and a lot of people are like, yo, I've never watched Star Wars, I never cared about Star Wars. They only watched it for one reason, and it was Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
Baby Yoda just ushered in a whole new generation of Star Wars watchers.
It's gonna be the Baby Yoda show plus Mandalorian.
Yeah, you know, like the baby boomers,
Yeah.
and stuff like that, and Generation X and Generation Z, and will be the Baby Yoda generation.
Baby
It
Yoda
definitely
generation.
will. Nobody knows who Yoda is, but they love Baby Yoda.
Yeah. Kevin Feige is the name I was looking for. That's the dude
I
that
actually
runs
was
MCU.
just looking it up, but then I gave up talking about Baby Yoda.
Yeah, it's Kevin Feige. So pretty much, John Favreau became what Kevin Feige is to MCU. He's to Star Wars, and then there's also talks for him directing something else in Marvel soon. So
I heard something that he might do a cartoon soon too, or something like that. I'm not sure. I think that was Favreau. I don't know.
I know originally he. Go ahead.
I've been reading a lot about it. You know, I've just been laying in my bed. Everything's becoming a blur.
Yeah.
So.
I remember him talking about I remember Universal really wanted him to take over Hulk.
Well, they're the only Hulk thing that's coming out is what, She-Hulk.
Yeah, but now,
She-Hulk's coming out.
I think Marvel got back Hulk, so they're actually working on something with the Hulk eventually down the road. But
And he's doing something for Marvel on Disney Plus, one of the shows. He's part of something. I don't know if it's WandaVision or something, but that's neither here or there. Disney Plus is going to be holding everything down. You can go to Disney Plus right now, subscribe if you are a Verizon user, and get a free year.
Yeah.
And you can watch every Star Wars, everything, you know,
they're
or
giving,
MC.
Yeah, they're giving everything for free right now. Like they're like, hey, a month for free before you sign up and shit too now.
Yeah, but the thing is with Disney Plus, because I'm going through the MCU right now, they don't have all the movies in there right now.
Well, they don't.
They have the first 2 waves, and that's it. And then a couple of the newer ones. They have like Captain Marvel, and they have Black Panther. And
so the ones
Endgame.
they don't have is Infinity War. They don't have because they still have Netflix still has it until I think next month.
Well, but they don't. They end at, I think, the end of the second phase.
Yeah.
Phase 2. Because I'm literally going through them right now. So. But this is not a Star Wars. I mean, this is a Star Wars cast, so we can talk about Marvel all day.
The Magic Kingdom.
So.
The Magic Kingdom is the thing that he's directing, which is based on the castle in Disney.
Okay, I was not impressed when I went to Disney and saw that castle, honestly. So. I was 16 years old. Do you think I gave a shit about the castle?
But as a writer and as everything like that, he's the head of what Star Wars is right now. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he does and his ideas, especially for the next 3 trilogy. And what I've heard, there's a lot of rumors of what's gonna be. One of the rumors is gonna be the Knights of the Old Republic, which I will love.
That would be dope.
If they do an original story, I'm fine with that as well. As long as it has a good story, a good arc, I'm good with that.
Man, I would love to see. I forget her name, man. It's just so much going on. But I would love to see like the younger years of Luke's mother and stuff like that. Because she was a senator. She was she was so much stuff. You know what I mean? I would like to see a younger years version of her, which she was who portrayed her was Natalie Portman in the original movies. But I would like to see that. I would love to see. We're definitely getting a Mandalorian too. Thank God.
Yeah, Mandalorian. Might get pushed back, but it's supposedly in September.
I would love to see a live action Clone Wars. I think that would be dope.
Oh, the TV series.
Yeah, I would love to see that, and I would love to see something Darth Maul. I know he's in comics a lot and he's in the video games a lot, but that's not enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That guy's legacy should go on because he's a badass motherfucker, and he's the only person that took Liam Neeson down.
I would like to see, honestly, I would like to see like a Vader series, but like in the years of when he first became Vader and what he was doing. Yeah.
Learning the dark side and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because if you notice, Palpatine became the Emperor at that same time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he was a member of the council.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then became Palpatine. You know what I mean? Like, he became that ugly, or as Robot Chicken, like a shriveled up nutsack.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, that would be cool. Like, the early years of Darth Vader, like, he's probably still battling demons.
Yeah.
Probably still battling, the light side, you know what I mean, of the Force and stuff.
And battling breathing.
Breathing, still, dealing with his wounds of being covered in lava and shit. You know what I mean? Like, Anakin had to die in order to really become Darth Vader, and we learned that in Return of the Jedi. He was like, I wasn't lying. I was just telling you from a perspective. Your father is. No, that was Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
Your father is dead, but he's not dead.
Yeah. The funny shit. I wonder if like Darth Vader got flashbacks. If like, say for his Stormtrooper tries to joke with him, like, "Oh, the floor is lava."
Yeah, like he has PTSD and shit. You know what I mean? He has nightmares and shit. You know what I mean? Like, that would be. But I just feel like he would just kill people left and right.
Yeah.
Like, how do you... But, like, let's build up that empire. We all know that Jango Fett was the clone of this. I mean, we're going to get into that when we start going through 1, 2, and 3. This is just shooting the shit.
Yeah.
So we know Jango Fett started the stormtroopers, so we got that. You know what I mean? Like, what could come of that? So I agree with you. I think that would be an interesting series. You know
I would do that. Mandalorian is perfect. I love to keep that going the way it is. I like the fact that it's a different kind of style of a show. Remind me more of a Western than anything.
It gave nods to former characters too. You know what I mean? Like, what's her face? In that one episode, she's in the cartoon. I haven't seen it, so I don't know her. I'm not as savvy in that, but she's supposed to be like a big character in the Rebel Ones, and stuff like that.
Yeah. So we have a lot of those things, and again, we have a lot of the cartoon series that are actually have canon to what the movies did as well. So there's a lot of things we got to cover. So we're gonna get there eventually.
Those months that we do the cartoons, are gonna be tough, man, because mixing two shows, we're gonna be watching either a Sentai or a Power Ranger episode while watching. You know what I mean? And then also imagine Turtles.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God, bro. Yeah. The dedication, the things that we do to entertain you people.
Yeah, man.
Please stop, like, and subscribe and
yes.
share, please, because
Yes,
let's show that this effort that we put in is not unnoticed, please. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
I dedicate a lot of my time to this, so.
I will like
But
like a bounty hunter show, just a straight out bounty hunter.
well, not like Boba Fett. You know what I mean? Like no names. Like,
well, like
nobody.
I would like to see Boba Fett because Boba Fett we only saw him like twice and he died the second time.
I know, and he's like the most popular character.
But I would
like
to see how he worked with the other, like kind of like what Mandalorian is doing with the other shit, but it would be more evolved with the other bounty hunters in the world, like that fucking lizard face dude and IG-88 and shit like that.
Or fucking what's his face, General fucking man, what the hell is his name?
Grievous?
My brain is no the fish dude.
Well, Akbar.
Yeah, Akbar. There we go, Akbar. What you call it?
It's a trap.
I can't talk to him right now. Yeah, tell him to come back later.
Yeah. Yeah, General Akbar. That's what he was talking about.
Yeah, no, General Akbar. Sorry, somebody just came to talk to me about my Jeep, and I'm not stopping this podcast for that. So.
So, yeah. So this is again we're recapping everything of the last 3 movies we watched, and at least honest on a positive note, there were movies I haven't watched in a while, so it's still I enjoyed them for what they were. I enjoyed them from when I first started watching them and stuff like that, especially A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. Return of the Jedi, I found things to enjoy more than I did, but there was a lot of things I was like, it just pissed me off.
Yeah, I'm sorry, my brain just blanked out.
Yeah.
Wait, say that again. I'm sorry.
No, so I was saying that we got to see it again from a new perspective. Well, not really a new perspective. It's just renewing, renewing view of the movie. Just I haven't seen it probably in 10 years or so. So this is the first time I watched it in like 10 years, and then I had more appreciation for it, especially Empire. Empire, I looked at it a lot differently this time when I watched it.
Yeah, I remember going into this. You were like, "Yeah, I'm not really the biggest of the fans."
Yeah.
But you knew that I was into it, you know.
Yeah.
And I was happy that you do have a newfound appreciation for it because.
I always liked it. I always liked it. I like Star Wars. Don't get me wrong. I like it. I'm not the biggest fan. I'm not I don't buy the toys. I don't collect anything of the comics and things like that. I liked the movies when they first came out, and they were alright. I didn't like the prequels. I always had an issue with that. But if you actually say, hey, you want to talk about... I know enough. I know a lot. I could carry a conversation about it.
Yeah.
So...
I mean, this you know, like, I've known a decent amount, you know what I mean? And
yeah.
I'm not one of those people who have a history with this. You know what I mean? Like, it took me... to become, and you could check our previous cast. I say this all the time.
Yeah.
Like I did not start watching Star Wars until I was like in my 20s, and it was only because of my next door neighbor. Shouts out to my boy Mike, who really sat me down and made me fall in love with this. You know what I mean? And it was nothing ever really against it. Like I watched them as kids. I remember seeing them. My mother had them.
Yeah.
I just never. It never just clicked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it was there and I seen it and I watched them, but it was just never there. It only took me to become an adult to actually appreciate what it is. And then ever since then, man, especially with me and my brother are huge fans.
Yeah.
We just took off. You know what I mean? And now I'm happy that you put this out on my table for me to be a part of because
why not?
You know what I mean?
We have enough things that we're going through, especially with the podcast, and this is something we enjoy, so might as well talk about it, right?
Yeah. Well, this is what we do anyway.
Exactly.
If we weren't doing it on a podcast, we would be doing it at work.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So
kills the
And
time.
we're not at work right now because of quarantine.
So this week we kind of went. This week, the whole month anyway.
The last 2 months.
we kind of went through some of the spoofs, the jokes on Star Wars. So like Spaceballs and
any good pop culture thing always has something making fun of it.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like with it's a perfect example, and it would make sense to a lot of people our age, but like like the scary movies who make fun of that. Now I feel like Spaceballs, right?
yeah.
This is one of the spoofs. I feel like that's probably one of the originals of it, like that, and like
Young Frankenstein.
Yeah, like yes, but that's Mel Brooks too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he I think he was the originator of like the spoof movie, because again, you look at Young Frankenstein, you look at Blazing Saddles, and you look at
what was that one that was making fun of like Lethal Weapon and Emilio Estevez in
that
it,
was
O.J. Simpson.
that was National Lampoons.
Yeah, no, I knew that was National Lampoons, but that was one of those ones from back in that time.
That came out later on. That came out like late 80s, because that was also the people that did like I think the same director did Hot Shot Part 2.
Yeah.
He did that and stuff like that.
Charlie
And like Naked Gun. Naked Gun was like a spoof of cop movies and things like that. So Mel Brooks was probably the originator of like the spoof movie, because if you actually look at his movies, Blazing Saddles is probably like a spoof on like fucking Good, the Bad, the Ugly. Once Upon a Time in Mexico, and those classic.
I loved
Western
Once
movies.
Upon a Time in Mexico. I'm happy you said that, 'cause that movie is awesome. But yeah, so Spaceballs is one of the things that we touched on, and we also went and saw the episodes of Family Guy, which was Blue Harvest.
Something Dark Side, and It's a Trap.
There's a long ass one. It's a trap.
something Dark Side, and It's a Trap.
And then the one that I watched today, which was the Robot Chicken ones.
The Robot Chicken, I think, did some of the best parodies or spoofs of everything. Like they nailed it, and they also nailed it in a way that a fan perspective will crack jokes on Star Wars about.
That RoboCop Chicken episodes, all 3 of them. Now, I've never seen a single episode of Robot Chicken. Maybe late night when I was passed out on my cousin's couch back in the day. You know what I mean? I think I might have woke up and it was on. But those episodes were fucking genius. I loved them. I thought they were so clever. And what made them better, and I think, now I'm not taking anything away from the Family Guy. I'm not really the biggest Family Guy fan. I told you this before.
Yeah.
Like I've never been a Family Guy dude. You know what I mean? I'm not really an animated person.
Yeah.
But Robot Chicken, the way they did it, blows Family Guy out of the water. And for Family Guy to have the references from RoboCop Chicken at the end of each episode.
Yeah.
It just made it so much better for me, because the son in Family Guy was sticking up for RoboCop, Robot Chicken, and that's Seth Green, who is one of the executive producers and creators and actors of Robot Chicken.
Yeah.
I thought it was genius.
Yeah,
it was so good.
And then Seth MacFarlane always shows up with his voice on Robot Chicken as well. So they both like share talents with each other and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so a lot of the
it was more like a professional thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think RoboCop. I keep saying RoboCop. Robot Chicken. It's the wine I'm drinking. The wine's starting to get. This is my first cast doing with you that I'm drinking wine, because I'm at the leisure of my home. You know what I mean? And when I'm home, I drink wine. So
I'm not drinking nothing. I'm drinking coffee. I finished my coffee.
I know. I told you to go to the store.
Yeah. Fuck it.
You had plenty of time.
Nah, no. But, well.
Yeah, I feel bad for this dude who just came to my house to talk to me about buying my car.
Mm-hmm.
And I just told him to get out of here. So I'm doing a podcast. That's dedication, ladies and gentlemen. My brother came out to my door like, yo, this guy wants to talk to you about your car. I'm like, tell him to leave. Tell him to come back. But, what were because I want to talk more about Spaceballs after after the Robot Chicken and the Family Guy, because Family Guy was very like to the script.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
So Family Guy, like one thing that makes the Family Guy unique is the fact that if you have watched the show throughout the years, they use all their characters as characters in the movie. So you had like Quagmire as C-3PO, you had Cleveland as R2-D2, you have Lois as Leia, you have Stewie as Darth Vader, you have fucking the chicken that Peter fights all the time. He's Boba Fett.
Yeah, no, and that was the best part of it all.
Yeah.
Like, out of all the Family Guy episodes, was the Chicken Fett.
Yeah.
I just loved him. Like, I was looking at him, I was like, damn, I would tattoo that on me.
Yeah. So
you know what I mean? I thought that was so cool.
And so they did pretty much a reenactment of the movies throughout with their characters and stuff like that. I think my favorite thing of this one was Stewie as Vader.
Yeah, Stewie was hilarious.
Yeah, Stewie was hilarious. And then
Stewie was really, really funny.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed him. Brian popped in here and there.
Yeah, he was Chewbacca, but he kept going waka waka because he looked like Fozzie the Bear.
Yeah, but he like he didn't really stand out to me too much though. No. But like the standouts, I mean, obviously the son. I forget the son's name.
Chris.
Chris, he was like the main focus, and Peter Griffin was Han Solo. You know what I mean? But Stewie as Darth Vader was fucking epic. You know what I mean? And each episode starts off like they're watching TV on the couch as a family, and there's a power outage. Yeah. And he's like, "Oh, let me tell you about Star Wars, eh?" You know? It was so good. And then the old man was fucking
Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan, but he's like a pedophile old man.
He had a limp. He
literally said, he was like, he's like, I'll always be with you until you're old enough for me not to like you anymore. That shit was funny, man. Like, I'm not gonna lie, but the problem is with that show is that it like peaked in the very beginning. You know what I mean? Like all the fun stuff, like the words going up.
Yeah.
Which every single Star Wars movie starts off with that. You know what I mean? That's like their trademark. And the shit that they said in that was hilarious. You know what I mean? If we had the time to really sit here for 2 hours and talk about this and actually read verbatim what was said, it was actually some really funny, clever shit.
Yeah, it was really funny.
It was like stuff that was knocking the show. I mean, knocking the movies and like merchandising and stating that Todd McFarlane is an asshole and shit. Like, not Todd McFarlane. Todd McFarlane. Fucking
Seth MacFarlane.
Seth MacFarlane. Yeah, Todd McFarlane's a comic book artist.
Spawn creator.
My bad. Yeah. Well,
you may be an
too many
asshole
McFarlanes in the industry, man. Too many McFarlanes in the industry. I was just actually watching a comic book documentary yesterday, so Todd McFarlane was in it. But yeah, like the way that setup was, it was just literally verbatim the movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? With the corniness that Family Guy is. Now, I'm not knocking Family Guy. It's been around for a long time, and it's one of those shows that is a rare thing when it gets canceled.
Yeah.
Gets brought back.
Yeah.
So you have to tilt your head to them.
Yeah.
Tilt your hat to them.
I'm
just not the biggest fan.
Yeah, the funny shit with that is it was the DVD sales that fucking got them back.
Yeah. I remember I used to go up to Mount St. Mary College to go visit my boy Joey.
Yeah.
And I would go up there one weekend out of every month for like 5 years. And we would just get drunk off a handle of Captain Morgan. And then we'd go out and do our thing and then come back, and when we're like sloshed on the ground, just pop on Family Guy.
Yeah.
And that's really when I started like viewing it and knowing what it was.
Yeah.
And then they did the spin-offs with Cleveland and whatever.
Cleveland show wasn't that great.
But the way Robot Chicken did it, though.
Yeah.
They
did it great.
Like me and you, we're 90s kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we grew up watching like Kablam.
So
the way Kablam was the same exact way that Robot Chicken was.
So Seth Green is around our age, or probably a little.
He is probably. I think. You're 3 years older than me.
Yeah.
So I think he's like 39 or something like
Yeah.
that. I think he's around that age.
So he kind of grew up in the same era as we have. So basically, he has a lot of the same like geeky shit that we have too. No, he's 46. Oh shit.
Oh, he is old.
He's 46, but I think he has the humor.
Yeah, his
down
birthday
pat
just
with that.
passed fucking 2 months ago.
Yeah, so I liked how they did it because I actually was a big fan of Robot Chicken personally. Like, I love the show. The show is genius. It's fast. It's really quick, but they have so much funny shit. Especially if you're the 80s, 90s kid, with a lot of the shit they did is with it. I think honestly, you should watch the show, and I think you will love it because they have one with like Optimus Prime that he couldn't take a shit. So he was pretty much talking about like I forgot what pill it was. It was pretty much for him to be able to take a shit. So you see him die, and he transforms into a coffin and dies.
So and have they done like other things, like, you know how Star Wars they did the 3 episodes?
Well, so they do have a DC special, a DC version special, and I think they have a Walking Dead special as well.
Okay.
But other than that, the rest of them, they do everything. So they do it from Care Bears to Voltron to G.I. Joe to Transformers and fucking Turtles, and they do everything. They make fun of everything. They hit on every single anything you liked as a kid, they hit with it. So definitely check it out. Especially, there's one I remember of being like, you remember the old drug commercial? This is your brain. This is your break on drugs. Any questions?
Oh, yeah. The girl from She's All That was in it.
Yeah, so that they make fun of that commercial, and the fucking girl goes crazy and starts whacking everything with a pen.
That was the girl from She's All That. Yeah. I remember that. I remember that like it was yesterday.
Yeah. So
any questions?
Yeah. So there's a lot of funny ones like that. I think if you actually really take a look at it, they're not. The thing is great about it is that a whole season is maybe an hour long.
Okay.
Because they're about.
They're like 22 minutes an episode though.
Yeah,
well, these Robot Chicken ones, the Star Wars episodes.
Because it's a collaboration.
There was one that was 38 minutes long.
Yeah, because there's a collaboration of all the schemes. They have like 10 seasons, so.
Yeah, man, one of my favorite scenes of the Robot Chicken though, like I said, I think Robot Chicken was far superior over.
I agree.
Because it was just like snap comedy, and it's just scene after scene, and everything is different. You know what I mean? And it's like the two guys in the beginning of New Hope, when the guy gets his arm cut off.
Yeah.
And he's sitting there, and he's like an artist for like this architect place and stuff like that. He's like, "Yeah, I'm really gonna get a promotion today. I'm gonna get a promotion." And the guy comes walking in, like, "Yo, let's go to the cantina across the street." He's like, "Nah, man, like I'm really doing." He's like, "Oh, come on, let's go." So he goes in, and then Luke Skywalker comes walking up to him, and he talks to him in his native tongue, which we don't understand what he's saying, in the movie. But he's like, "Yo, bro, I really like your hair," and he just sits back, and then the other guy comes in and starts saying shit for him, like, "Yo, my friend don't like you," and I don't like you too. He's like, "No, I didn't say that." And then he gets his arm cut off, and he loses his job because of it.
Yeah, that was a great one.
That was so funny.
You go ahead, man. You go finish.
No, go ahead. No, I got so many more. So.
The Boba Fett one, when he was like the star of everything, and then the kid was like playing with him, like, yeah, this is how Boba Fett should have been.
Boba Fett was funny. Like, he got drunk at the cantina.
Yeah.
And then he goes out, and it's the scene where when basically Boba Fett died in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
That whole scene, he's just flying around drunk as shit. You know what I mean? It's like, you missed me. Da, da, da. Like, that shit was funny. The fact of, like, he got swallowed by the monster, right? So he goes down in the stomach, and then was the other guy that got swallowed by the monster. And he's like, "Oh shit, I'm not the only one." He was like, "Yeah, I volunteered to do this. See, listen, I didn't go out like a punk. I fucking shot Han Solo on the side of the head. I shot Luke Skywalker right in between his eyes. I fucked this guy up. It's like, yeah, man, you missed it. Da da da." And then he's like just sitting in the stomach. of the guy, like, literally lying to the guy about how, like, he just destroyed everything. In reality, none of that happened. Because it was like, the monster, they said, oh yeah, it takes 1,000 years to digest.
Yeah.
So it's like, we're gonna be sitting here for a long time. That was 2 different episodes. There was that scene, but I like that. There was so many others, man.
I like the Palpatine stuff. I think that most of them were funny. Like when Darth Vader called him crying.
Yeah, it was like, yo, he's crying.
Oh no! When he fucking told them all they blew up the Death Star.
It's like, what do you mean? Like, you want me to rebuild it? It's like, you guys are gonna fund this? You know how expensive it is to build? Like, my insurance right now is through the roof. You know what I mean? He was like, are you ordering lunch? It was like, yeah, let me get this sandwich. It's like, oh, let me get some coleslaw with that. It's like, I'm not even gonna eat the coleslaw. It's like, what are you getting? Oh, you're getting that? Damn, I always order the wrong fucking thing. I love that. The one Palpatine one that was fucking awesome is just, he didn't want to go. He went in he was trying to go in the elevator.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, fuck you, like, let me go. And then the other elevator comes, and it was a bunch of those fish people, and he was like, I don't want to go in the elevator because you're gonna make me smell like fish, so I'm gonna go up the escalator. and it's just stormtroopers going down.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's like, hi sir, like literally like 50 of them. And he's like saying hello to every single one, and he gets so annoyed at a point. He's like, fuck you, stormtrooper, fuck you, you piece of shit. And then it was just some wild dude running down. I thought, bro, that was so genius. It was funny.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, they must have took so much time making those episodes, because it's like 100 episodes in one sitting. You know what I mean? Like, well, not 100, but you know what I mean? There was a couple other ones that, like, it was Anakin, and I always forget Natalie Portman's role. I keep forgetting her name. It upsets me.
Queen Amidala.
So much. Yeah, Queen Amidala, right? So they go inside her pad, right? And she's like, welcome to my house where we talk about nothing sexual.
Yeah.
And he's just sitting there, and he's just, like, he's fighting back the urge. He's, like, trying to tell her she loves her while she's doing all these sexual things, you know what I mean? And her thing, well, bro, it's so good. It's so genius. Those episodes made me want to go and actually watch Rainbow Chicken.
Yeah.
I mean, Robot Chicken, Rainbow Chicken.
You gave it like 10 different names within this cast.
RoboCop Chicken. Bro, wine is no joke. Wine gets me going. It's not like our usual Lagunitas. You know what I mean?
It is missed right now. Yeah, there was tons. Like, what was the other one I fucking loved? A lot of the one, honestly, it was just like a lot of just the one-liners that they had and things like that. It was just a lot of fun shit.
Just like the dudes that are falling down the shaft.
Yeah.
And then the guy with the fucking broom at the end. He's like, what is going on? He's like, I need to get this transfer immediately. And it's like, it was literally all 3 of them that shit was happening to him.
Yeah, I like that. The Jar Jar Binks one was pretty funny.
I hate him so much.
That he visited Anakin when he was Vader, and Vader fucking sends him out, like throws him into space, and he comes back as the ghost. Like, oh, I'm glowing and shit.
Yeah, fucking Palpatine at one point. Maybe I could come back as one of those cool blue ghosts.
Yeah.
It was just, oh man, it was like behind the scenes of like what was really going on in the world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it was cool. It's like Darth Vader's talking to Luke Skywalker's like, we could run the universe.
Yeah.
Together as father and son, and then Luke Skywalker's thinking about all the cool things that they could do as father and son, and then they go up against fucking Jango Fett and Boba Fett in like a dance battle.
Yeah.
And then Luke's like, he's like, yeah, I'll do that, and then literally falls off the thing, trying to go talk to him. And then there was it was literally the same exact scene with Darth Vader trying to explain to him all the shit that happened, and then Luke Skywalker walks up to him and is like, yo, bro, if you're not gonna take this shit seriously, I'm gonna fucking leave now. It's good stuff.
It was a lot of funny stuff. They did a really good job of it. If you never watched it, I suggest you do.
I definitely agree with that. I think that it was a good, like an hour and 20 minutes altogether, like a just jam-packed Star Wars comedy. It was so good. And then the other thing that we watched, which was Spaceballs.
Yeah.
What'd you think of Spaceballs?
Spaceballs. I guess I liked it more when I was younger than I do now. Like some of the jokes still hit, but not as much as he used to.
Oh, I completely agree with you 100%. Yeah. I thought it was so much better when I was a kid.
Yeah. Like the Pizza the Hut shit, that's still funny that he ate himself to death.
Yeah, and the guy turns to him, he's like, "Oh, you are delicious." Like, I man, just seeing John Candy, though, you know what I mean? Like, that was... Because John Candy was Barf.
Yeah.
Which was Chewbacca, and then we had Lone Star, which is played by Bill Pullman, and it's, and he's supposed to be Han Solo, and they're flying around in a fucking RV in space.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then, what was it? Joan Rivers was like the CP-30, and she was like a maid, like something to Princess whatever her name is, which she was hot. I thought she was cute. Which Rick Moranis is one of my favorite people, and he was Dark Helmet.
Dark Helmet was fucking. I think he was another one that's one of my favorite characters in that movie.
No, he was hilarious.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, I see you got the Schwartz."
Yeah.
And it's just the same size as mine.
Yeah.
Now let's see if you can use it. And they're like measuring sticks of like penis references and shit. You know what I mean? Like I thought all that was cool. Mel Brooks is just he's a comic genius. If he's not on the Mount Rushmore of comedy, then I don't know what you're watching, because he's done some of the most iconic stuff ever. You know what I mean? And he was literally the president.
He was the president.
And then he was also Yogurt.
He was Yogurt.
Who's a knockoff of Yoda.
Yeah.
And all he does, he's like, "What do you do down here, Yogurt?" He's like, "Merchandising." I thought probably the cleverest thing of the show, of the movie, is like of how it made fun of itself being a movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, the movie's not really that good. It's really not. I watched it twice. I just watched it today. So I actually enjoyed it more today than the first time that I watched it, because it's really dry humor. Like, I feel like it's for stoners.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like you have to be blitted out of your mind to watch it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a scene, I think they replayed the movie. Like, they got the VHS of the movie and they put it in. Then they rewind it, like, oh, okay.
But what's clever about that scene is that he's like, we could go and watch it right now. What?
Yeah.
The movie that we're making? He's like, yeah, we got that. And then they open up the cabinet.
Yeah.
And it shows every Mel Brooks movie on VHS.
Yeah.
And for you kids out there that don't know what a VHS tape is, Google that. A lot of people don't know what that is, man. And it's sad. I still have VHS tapes.
Dude, I have my mom. Well, it's my mom's. My mom has like 3 boxes full, and then we still have two working VCRs as well.
I have one in my closet in my hallway that still works right now. Yeah. I used to have that the red race car rewinder too. I swear I used to have that shit, man. It was fucking awesome.
Yeah, fuck it.
Nobody wanted to sit down and rewind anything. That's why all that shit burnt out, because it was just time consuming, and we as Americans were lazy, and we don't like to wait for shit.
And got mad when you got charged to they didn't rewind the movie.
But like Spaceballs, like we said, it's good to watch, because it's like it's of that time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was made in what, 80, 88, 89, or 87, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, and then just to see comic legend Mel Brooks and John Candy, like, I was just, You know what I mean? It's sad that John Candy passed away as early as he did. He died in, 94?
Yeah.
Somewhere, something like that. And a lot of people don't even know who he is. So it's like, it was good to go back and watch that. Because I agree. Like, I remember it being so much better as a kid.
Yeah.
Than what it was. But that's a Mel Brooks comedy. They're all like that.
Yeah, they are.
If you watch Blazing Saddles,
I love
the
Blazing
speed
Saddles.
of it and the comedy is very dry, but it is humorous. You know what I mean? It's like, why couldn't the stormtrooper shoot straight? Because he was cross-eyed.
Yeah.
It's like, why is he an asshole? Because he's an asshole. He's like, no, he's an asshole. Like, no, his name is Asshole. That's Private Asshole. He's like, who on this ship is an asshole? And everybody raises their hand. He's like, fuck, I'm surrounded by assholes. You know, like, it was just stupid little things that were, you know what I mean, that was so funny. Like, the way Rick Moranis looked inside Dark Helmet. You know what I mean? Like, him walking out, he's so short. Mm-hmm. He's like a short-ass dude. And then you got this big-ass helmet that's 3 times the size of, like, his body. And if you notice, it had, like, a little tie going down. Like, he was formal.
Yeah.
At the same time of being that Darth Vader character. He did such a good job. You know what I mean? Like,
and I like the fact that he had, like, a desert outfit and shit, too.
Yeah, he changed it, and... He's like, yeah, the Schwartz, the yogurt's got the Schwartz. He's like, yeah, but you got the Schwartz too. He's like, yeah, but he got the better Schwartz. You know, I got the other side of the Schwartz. It's not as good as the other the other Schwartz.
Yeah, it was a good movie for its time. I think you could probably still get a good laugh out of it if you never got to see it and you understand.
Well, if you're just a fan of the genre of, you know, not really genre, but the fan of the legacy of Star Wars.
Yeah.
Just to get like a good laugh. Real quick, you know what I mean?
Just stay away from the animated series.
What's up?
So just stay away from the animated series.
Well, like, I feel like I'm gonna have to watch it just because I discovered it today.
Yeah.
I never knew it was even there.
So watch it. Why not? It's only 13 episodes.
We got a lot of things to watch, though, man. We really do.
Yeah.
You know, one thing about the robot chicken that I just remembered. You know the dragon, the skeleton in the desert of Tatooine?
Yeah.
There was one scene where he's talking to his mom, and they're in the water. He's like, yeah, I'm going to go branch out, and I'm going to go make something of myself. I'm going to get over these mountains, and I'm going to be somebody. Son, don't do that. Da-da-da-da-da. Like, no, Mom, I'm going to go do it. And then it flashes to the scene. He's dead on a fucking desert. and he's the dragon dude. Like, bro, I don't know, man. Out of all the spoofs that we just recently watched, I'm pretty sure there's probably so much more out there. I think the robot chickens were.
I agree.
Were the best.
They're up there. They're really up there with it. They even do Spaceballs and fucking Robot Chicken. So there's a lot of spoofs they do. They do everything. They hit everything on. And I like the fact that, like, again, like the Family Guys was a retelling of the story, as in Robot Chicken was just like skits of fucking random shit that happened in Star Wars.
Yeah.
And that's what made it fun, like random crazy shit that happened in Star Wars and things like that.
And it over dragged it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they Darth Vader got played so bad, and so many of them too. Like, it was funny. I thought.
What was it? The fucking the garbage disposal one I just thought about.
Yeah. The girl is showing the guy.
Yeah.
An apartment. But this was like Cloud City. She mentioned that it was Cloud City, but she was scared because like so much shit goes on. She's like, yeah, like, yo, this apartment is really, really fucking really cheap. And then it like, you know, we have HD everything, and like Luke Skywalker was hanging on the fucking the antenna, so that shit didn't work. And then he went down the garbage disposal, right? And then Darth Vader sitting there. He's like, damn, nothing works in this place. And that was fish. So it was like fish is gonna rot and sink out. Yeah, it was clever, bro. That shit was genius. I really enjoyed it. I'm happy that I did that. I'm sad that it took me this long. It took me literally 2 months to fucking watch this, but
yeah,
you know what I mean. Other things has been happening in the world, so
yeah. So you have anything else?
Nah, man. I think we covered a decent amount.
So
you know what I mean?
So the next cast we do of Not a Trekkie, we'll be reviewing our verdict of Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace.
A Phantom Menace, which I am not looking forward to this. I mean, I'm happy to go to it, but Jar Jar Binks just irks the shit out of me. So it's like, and we're gonna be dealing with him for the next 3 movies.
1 movie.
So, no, he's in it.
Oh yeah, he is in the second one too. The third one he's not really there.
And then the third one he becomes like a Jedi. Fucking.
Oh yeah, I forget he's in all 3. I'm like that.
You know what I mean? See, like I feel like his story would be better if he was actually undercover Sith.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he was a double spy. Like that would have made him so much better. But he's just bad. Jar Jar Binks.
So we're gonna wrap this up. This is Not a Trekkie.
Yeah, man. Do the usual rundown of how we our outros.
All right. So this is Not a Trekkie Podcast. This is the Shoot the Shit spoof episode. You can catch us on all our social medias on Red Cyclone Inc. and Mark with the Mic. Mark with the Mic you catch on SoundCloud, YouTube TV, YouTube, Twitch TV, Twitter, Tumblr, and Instagram. All Mark with the Mic. You can follow our Facebook page of the Wrestling Babble and the Red Cyclone Inc. page. We're very active on there. We share posts. We talk a lot on there. Also check out our past cast. We did Shell Shock, and we did the
Morphin
Cast of Lost Galaxy, and we did the Shell Shock of Turtles 2. So definitely check those out. I re-listened to the Turtles episode, and I laughed my ass off through the whole thing. So definitely check that out.
I haven't heard it yet, man. I'm gonna have to.
It's a fun episode.
Check it out.
Fucking Shredder.
I think it's better than the first one, right?
Yeah, because again, we the only thing is, like I said, you just sound like you're on the phone. Other than that, it came out really good.
Bro, I'm 78 miles away from you.
Exactly.
This is literally the best we can do right now.
Exactly.
But we're trying to keep the show going. You know, the show doesn't stop, so.
So what this does is makes it more easier for us to space things out and be able to watch things without having to watch everything and do everything in one shot. So by next week, we probably have another Shell Shock, Episode 3 of Turtles 3, Turtles in Time. And we'll probably do the beginning. And the next week we'll probably do Not a Trekkie, Phantom Menace.
Got all the time in the world now, you know what I mean?
Exactly. And then
we also discussed that we will be starting a retro video game podcast, which the name has not been selected yet. So if anybody has any suggestions, please put them in the comment boxes.
Yes. That's something that we're talking about, and there's a couple of games I kind of want to show you some stuff. No, there's some things I want to show you stuff because there's some games are getting remastered now that I kind of want to show you it, and then we could talk about the past of the game and then what the new one's doing and shit like that. The one I'm talking about is Streets of Rage 4. They're doing Streets of Rage 4, and they just showed the trailer that you can mix the old with the new, so you can use every single person from the Streets of Rage game, and like if you say for instance you use Skate looks like the Sega Genesis version.
So they sort of did what like they did with Mario. You know what I mean? You know how Mario updated itself, but also implemented a lot of the old stuff.
Oh no! The Streets of Rage 4 is a completely like pretty looking animated game that looks completely different. Now what they did was you could be the older characters, but the older characters don't have new models. They're just the sprites of the Sega Genesis version playing in the new game.
I still gotta play my Simpsons fucking.
Yes, you do.
Version, man. I might have to pull the Sega out and actually do that. I wish I can stream that stuff, but I don't know how to do anything. I'm not really savvy in that world, but yeah, we got that brewing up. You know, we'll always have our monthly Morphin Cast, which now, since we are able to do, we can actually bang them out. The next one will be Super Sentai. What's the name? Gigaman.
Yeah.
Gigaman.
Yeah, Gigaman. Sensu Sentai Gigaman. That's
I
the
can
Lost
never
Galaxy.
enunciate that.
Yeah, that's the Lost Galaxy version of the Super Sentai. We'll be going through that. We'll probably do that cast in 2 weeks, and then at least one thing it does, it gives us a little space in between before we actually be able to do it again in person. But I think this being an alternative will help us not having to do so many things at one day.
And this also might be able to open up a door to make more things happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I do enjoy this, being in the comfort of my bed while I do this. So
Yeah.
I don't mind this at all.
Yeah.
So we definitely have a big palette and a lot of episodes coming forward.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
yes.
We just last month celebrated our 3-year anniversary
Yes.
of our first cast, which we did 3 years, almost to the date, and we started off with the Power Rangers.
Yeah.
And look at us now, man. We got, going on almost 4 casts?
4 casts
good.
plus the 2 regular ones that we do with the Red Cyclone Inc. So we got a lot of episodes, a lot of stuff to listen to and watch and to enjoy your entertainment. Once things start getting back to somewhat normal, we may be doing some videos in the retro game stores, and we probably do pickup videos and things in that
All
nature.
that.
So you could actually start seeing us in person and seeing what we're going to do with that. I'm trying to invest in the camera, so we could have something going with us recording and things like that. So we have more stuff and more quality on YouTube.
Eventually, I would like to do a cast heading to Red Bank,
Yes.
New Jersey, to go check out the Secret Stash,
Yes.
which would be an event in itself. But I would always like to give a shout out to Game On, retro video game store out on Long Island. Right now,
Yeah.
you can go onto their Facebook page at Game On, and they are now doing delivery. So any type of retro video game need that you have to fulfill, now is the time to do it, no matter where you are. Normally, it would just be, you go to the 2 stores that are located on Long Island, which you've been there.
Yeah.
My man Tristan, who runs it, owns it, he is now, to me, definitely a beacon of self-business in the society, because when I walk in there, it's literally nothing but love. So always shout out to Game On.
Yep.
We will put their information down in the caption below. I always give a shout out to my boy Mike Wazowski, who, if not single-handedly, made me the Star Wars fan that I am today. So I definitely will always give him a shout out, and also shout out my brother. My brother is one person that has been ride or die with me through our process of Star Wars throughout the years. So it's only worthy that he gets a proper nod on Not a Trekkie.
Yep. I would just like to shout out our brothers of Red Cyclone Inc. Thank you for Mike for going to be editing this and everything like that. All I have to say is thank you for listening. Follow all our casts on SoundCloud, Mark with the Mic. We have all our Shell Shock and Guess But I Swear, the Wrestling Babble, the Morphin Cast, and now in the Not a Trekkie episode. Also, the YouTube channel, you can actually follow us live and actually go with the chat and everything like that. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it don't. It doesn't really matter. Anyway, we're going to wrap this up. Peace out. Laters. And
I am Tenacious T.
And I'm Mark with the Mic.
Make sure you don't give Jenkins a sandwich.
Don't give Jenkins a sandwich, and make sure he washes his damn hands.
Exactly. Everybody wash your hands for 20 seconds.
And this is a Star Wars cast, but even there, fuck Zordon. Later.
Fuck Zordon.
Later.